Hi guys, just wanted to make a, I guess, semi-quick video if I can about my 3-4 swap. A lot of people have questions. I see them on the forums all the time or Facebook pages asking, hey, how do I do this? What do I need? Just thought I'd make this video to maybe help people out or give them a general idea of what's needed for this swap. Typically, people will do this swap when their 3-4 gives out or 3-0 gives out. Blows a head gasket or shoots a rod out the bottom is two common issues I've seen. So they put this in here because it's pretty much a drop-in swap, which it is. Out of the 3 engine swaps I've done, this is by far the easiest. I mean, it literally bolts up to your transmission, which I'm running a 5-speed. It will not do that with the auto, but with a 5-speed, it bolts right up to the transmission using your original clutch components. Your 3.0 motor mounts bolt right on, and I mean, as you can see, the only thing my swap was a little different about as far as fitment goes, I did not have to do anything with the hood. I don't know how I got away with that. I'm not running a body lift. I have an 1.5-inch ball joint spacers and Land Cruiser coils in the rear. Oh yeah, by the way, this is a 1990 Toyota 4Runner. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. It was originally a V6 and a 5-speed, which it still is, just not the same engine. But anyways, yeah, I did not have to do anything to the hood. It shuts just fine, nothing rubs. So I don't know, so I guess it's just kind of luck of the draw maybe. Anywho, there's one big rule that you want to follow before you ever buy anything. When you're researching, get everything from the same vehicle. Repeat after me, get everything out of the same vehicle. If you have the luxury of having extra space in the driveway or a shop, I would buy your own donor vehicle if you can. Sometimes you can find them for pretty cheap. I'm telling you right now, it makes everything 20 times easier. Let's just take mine for example. The engine is a 99, came out of a 99 4Runner that was totaled in the back. My harness, however, came out of a 1995 Toyota T100. So yeah, you can imagine there's probably some differences, which there is. I'll get to that here in a second. But I cannot stress you enough, get it all out of the same vehicle. Emissions, I'm not running in like evap stuff, emission stuff, because here in Texas, you know, we don't do that kind of crap. So if you live in California or somewhere on the West Coast, yeah, you might have to have that, or you will have to have that. So everything out of the same vehicle. Everything out of the same vehicle. I cannot stress that enough. It will make your life 20 times easier in this swap. Anyway, let's get on to how I did mine. There wasn't necessarily anything wrong with my 3.0. It just lost compression. Well, I guess there is something wrong, but it still ran, albeit with a slight miss. I did not have a catastrophic failure or a head gasket pop. And so I guess this really gave me a reason to do this swap. As I said before, the engine is out of a 99 4Runner and the harness is out of 95 T100. I originally tried to get the motor and harness and computer out of the same vehicle at the junkyard. However, being it was a pick and pull, the engine had already been picked over and it was missing a bunch of sensors, and I figured it would cost more to build the engine back up than it would just to buy a whole nother engine. I bought this engine off of eBay for $850, which is probably a little bit more than most people will pay, just because here in Texas these Toyotas kind of go for not necessarily a premium, but they are definitely more expensive than you would find in, say, like the East or West Coast, just because salt gets to the vehicles a lot quicker than it does here. So with that being said, the three main problems you're going to have as if this is your first engine swap are your transmission. Yeah, that's exactly how the swap will make you feel at times. Your transmission. If you're running a 5-speed, everything bolts up. I used all my 3.0 clutch stuff. Some people say you can't do that. I've done it just fine. The clutch is held just fine. I did use the 3.0 throwout bearing, not the 3.4, just because it looked a little funny when I was putting it in there, and sure enough, the 3.4 throwout bearing is a little bit longer than the 3.0. So if you're using the 3.0 clutch stuff, keep that in mind. If you use the 3.4 clutch stuff, I think you have to still use the 3.0 throwout bearing. I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it when it comes to clutch replacement time. Other than that, transmission bolts right up. Cross member stays the same. Drive shaft stay the same. Nothing changes. The motor sits exactly where the 3.0 did. The next one, you have your transmission. Next problem you will encounter is your harness. There are two ways to tackle this. If you are very good with wiring, you can build it yourself, or build your conversion harness. I guess that's what most people call it. Myself, I'm not skilled enough with wiring to build a harness, nor do I want to be, because it just makes my head hurt. I had toy only swaps. I think they're in Oregon. I had them do my conversion harness, which we will go in here, and I will remind you, or keep in mind, that I finished the swap 6 months ago, and I still have not gotten around to buttoning up some of the things, because I've had a bunch of other stuff in my life go on that I just haven't had time to do it. So, like, things like this, computer still laying in the floorboard. Anyways, what I mean by conversion harness is, obviously your 3.4 engine harness, this will not plug up to your 3.0 body stuff, this. So you either build one to plug these two up yourself, which involves a lot of wiring diagrams, which that brings me to another good point. Regardless of whether you're having a harness built or if you're building it yourself, you will do yourself a favor if you go to TIS.com, I think it's Toyota Information Systems, pay the $15 and print out every single wiring diagram they have for these vehicles. Whatever vehicle you're doing, type in the VIN number for it, it'll bring up the harness diagrams, and then whatever your donor vehicle was, type in the VIN number and get the harness diagrams for it. It will help you a lot when you start having issues, which more than likely you will have at least one issue when you start this up. It will help you a lot to troubleshoot where that issue is at, if it's electrical related. So anyways, what toy only swaps did for me is, essentially, they make, this is part of it, you can't see the rest of it, shoved up underneath this, up in there. Essentially, they make it to where the 3.4 harness, or your body harness from your truck, which is these two plugs right here, that one and that one, plugs into the computer, which is in that plug. How do I word this? It connects everything together. It connects your body with your computer with your engine. So that's kind of why it costs as much as it does. There's a little bit more to it than just putting wires wherever, because all these wires have a specific spot, obviously. It was well worth the money. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I probably will do it again if I ever do another 3.4 swap. Keep in mind, you will have to send them some core connectors, otherwise you will be paying them